everyone. Welcome back to the Sanctuary of Hope presents Real Talk. My name is Sabrina Ware. I am the director of the Sanctuary of Hope. And for this year, I just want to remind everyone of our theme, Refine, Reshape, Renew in 2022. And our goal here at the Sanctuary of Hope is to bring tools to all of you to help you throughout your challenges. However, this month, for the month of March, in honor of Women's History, I took a brief pause so that we can celebrate some of the women in the Valley. Now, we only have, we're only on every other week, so I was only able to get 2 guests, although I would like to, give homage and honor to all the women within the Valley and outside of the Valley who has made an impact on the lives of others, whether big or small. Whatever thing you've done to make a difference is major. And as long as you can make an impact on someone's life, I think that's just, an awesome thing. And it's a gift. Today, I have with me Judy Matos, who actually is, I'll tell you a bit more about how she's going to be supporting me in the Valley. But right now, we're going to talk about, she's going to come to us and give us some information about who she is and how she has made an impact in the Valley. So she's going to give us an introduction, and then she's going to tell us about her passion. So Judy, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. Hello, Sabrina, and I'm so glad to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, what I do for a living, I'm a certified nursing assistant. I've done that for 32 years now. And for about the last 18 years, I've been involved with hospice. So I'm a hospice certified nursing assistant. And what I do is take care of people, make sure they have the best quality of life. All kinds of care, from friendship, from companionship, to actually taking care of someone when they are unable to care for themselves anymore.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you said you've been doing that for 18 years. The
18 years, hospice part, yes.
Oh, wow. What made you decide to go into that area? Well, before I ask that question, okay, let me pace myself. Explain to everyone what hospice is, because I know for me, there was a misconception for years until I actually walked through the hospice process. So if you can just give us and give our audience a little idea or big idea of what hospice actually is.
Hospice is a palliative care, taking care of people when they've been diagnosed with terminal illnesses, and they decide that they no longer want to be treated for their illnesses. And then they usually come to a hospice, or we go to them. There's different ways. We have hospice centers. They have them in the hospital. They also have them in people's homes. So you can have hospice wherever you need it to be.
Okay.
Yes. And hospice, again, it's about giving you the best quality of life versus the quantity of life.
Okay. So when I think about, and when you say quality versus quantity, they pretty much had a terminal illness. So the medications pretty much relative to them being in a hospital, and treatment is no longer going to, according to the doctors, is no longer going to make an impact or on their healing process.
Yes.
Okay. So what made you want to go into such a field?
I'm going to say it started I'm going to say honestly, as a child, just because I had godparents and my grandparents, and they were older. And whenever I stayed with them, I just thought, who's going to take care of them? Who's going to help them when they get older? So I always kind of helped them out. But then as I got older and I was working as a nursing assistant, I worked in the hospital, and I had a case where we had to do a code blue on a patient. And there were so many things said in there, and I had done that before, but it never affected me the way it did this time. So we were in the room for like an hour and a half. The doctor's going on about this person's life. We all have to come to an agreement that, yes, let's stop doing what we're doing. And I don't know, just something about the doctor speaking about this man did something that when we were done and it was time to leave, I just thought I couldn't do this anymore in the hospital because I was working on a specialized unit. I thought, I can't do this. And I looked up I just went onto the computer and I said, hospice. I said, the hospital has a hospice.
Wow.
Within a week, I was hired to the hospice, and
Oh my
I've
God.
been there ever since. It was just like everything fell, right? It all worked in order, and I've been there ever since.
Oh,
and
so it was like it was like it was meant to be. I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, everything just fell right in order. And that's where I've been ever since. But coming along families, I've been in great homes to the worst of homes, but watching families reunite, love on each other, care about each other.
Wow.
It's all been a wonderful experience. Nice. There's so many stories I could say, but we'd be here all night long if I said every single one of them. Yeah, no. But what I'd like to share a little bit about is some of the myths in hospice. Medication. I was because medication, for years, people would see me and I'd get like this kind of sign in front of me because they're thinking, oh, she's here, it's done.
Wow.
But medications, a lot of people are afraid of some of the medications because for some reason they think it's going to speed up the death process. But it's not. It actually helps. Morphine is the one medication I'm talking about, but it actually helps with the breathing process, keeping anxiety down, being comfortable, and it will not speed up the death process.
Okay.
It will not. And another big one that I've heard over the years are people that if a patient's not eating, that they're starving to death. That's not true either. Because their body changes, and with the illness, they don't have those feelings of hunger.
Wow.
It's not like dealing with a healthy person that you're hungry, you're going to eat. It does not happen that way. That's another big myth. And then I already told you about, for some reason, people think that you can only do hospice in a hospital or a hospice program. Not true. You can do it in a person's home. And another big one is, for some reason, people think it's only for the elderly. But it's not. It's for anybody, any age, anybody who has an illness.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
thank you so much for clarifying that.
Yeah, so those are basically it.
Okay. And it's ironic that you say that because and I can tell you about my experience with hospice. Now, when my grandfather had passed away, there was hospice in the home, if I'm not mistaken. When Alex was diagnosed with his cancer, and I remember the conversation the day the doctors were like, there was nothing else that he would be able to do, they would be able to do for him. They were like, the next option is hospice. It was like, it felt like that, wow, that final,
Yeah.
and not really it ended up being, but it was a process.
Yes.
And just watching the hospice workers, once the decision was made for him to be in the actual facility, it was amazing seeing, number one, the compassion it was amazing. It's like from the time you walk through the door, the security guards downstairs, up to the person who would bring water. It was just amazing to see the level of compassion, care, and concern, and that comfort that was provided at that particular facility, and just the workers. So as you're talking about 18 years being able to walk along beside families to provide that, it definitely seems like it's more a calling and a gift, when you look at it from that respect, because just to be able to have that compassion and internalize and be able to walk along beside people who's about to lose someone, in most instances,
right,
and be there with them through that journey is amazing.
Right.
How do you separate being able to
it has been amazing because I've seen so many different family situations, friend situations, all different kind of situations. How do I separate?
Right.
I don't think
When
I
you
ever
come
really.
home.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't think I really ever do. I just continue to love and pray for them.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and and I guess that's how I just keep going, because how do you separate? You don't.
Mhm.
I mean, I know I come home at the end of the day and I deal with my family, take care of my family, but there's always in my heart, there's always my patients there. I do come home and still think about, oh, this was, I wonder if they took care of this or if this was done, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. So when you get home in that role, once you get home, do you still communicate with them via phone, via text, via
Um,
email?
Maybe with coworkers, just to prepare the next day, really. Um, but I can tell you, after someone has passed away that I've taken care of, I can tell you I still have relationships with a lot of the families.
Wow, wow. So it's walking along beside them, having that compassion, and then relationship building. So when they
Mhm.
see your face, you're the face of that person who was there with them through one of the hardest,
Yeah,
times of their
they're in
life.
a vulnerable place in their lives when that's happening, and I am very fortunate that some people will allow me in that space.
Mm,
And whether it's sometimes there's no words, whether they just watch what I do.
right. Wow. Wow.
They it's just.
So let me ask you this. As we talk about women's history and the impact that women make in society, did you ever think of yourself as a person who was making an impact?
Honestly, no.
I asked that question, right?
Yeah, because no, yes, I remember sitting across from your desk and you said that to me. Yes, but but I just thought, this is my job. This is what I do. And you've actually helped me kind of open up and look. Yeah, no, there's a lot more than just a job here.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, and that's what, it's so important. And as I continue to grow, even in my calling, which happens to be my career, so which
yeah,
is
the same
good,
for me.
but it
Yes, this is
wasn't. For years, it was okay, I was at a job. And although I was helping people in a different capacity, now that it's like, okay, it's the mental health, it's families, it's going into their lives and walking along beside them. And it's so different watching people on TV do something. And when you actually live that
actually see.
experience, it's like,
Yes.
wow.
And you're so right about the calling, because I know it was a job for a very long time until that day that I walked out the hospital. I mean, I walked out of the patient's room and got on the computer. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
And hospice came, and then I knew,
Mhm.
hey, I'm being the hands and feet of Jesus and helping someone be comfortable.
Ah, I love
I
that.
think that's the big part. And again, I never thought of myself as some kind of a hero for doing it, because I just figured this is what I have to do. This
Right,
is what I have
right.
to do.
Nice. I love that, being the hands and feet of Jesus. And it's like that compassion. And when it's effortless, it's beautiful because it's genuine. And it's coming from that place of, what is the saying? Like, if you do what you love, it's not like you work a day in your life, something like that.
I don't know the same, but I can what you're saying. Yes, if you
Right.
love what you do, time goes fast. I say that all the time. Maybe some people think I'm a little crazy, but I'm at work and I'm like, wow, it's already Wednesday. Not that I don't mind going home at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I'm like,
Right.
where's time go? It just goes so fast as I spend my day with my patients.
Now, did you ever think as a little girl, like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to be a courtroom stenographer. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to sit in a courtroom and just type up what was going on in the court cases. And then by the time I got to college and did my associates, I was pretty much, well, I want to be a teacher. And then I shifted to I wanted to be a psychiatrist. Then I'm like, that's medical school. So then I switched over and I'm like, okay, so But it shifted. Did you know, like when you were younger, when you were a young girl, did you have a dream of being in a particular profession?
Yeah, I was going to be a pediatrician, but I didn't want to go to school. I was going to be the pediatrician. Then, of course, I started when as I was older and I started doing this job. Um, I thought for a minute I wanted to be a nurse, but then again, I watched the nurses. There's a lot of stuff involved, and sometimes I feel I'm the closest to the patient. I didn't want to lose that physical touch with the patient. So that's where I know that this is where I belong.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, as a kid, I wanted to be a doctor, and I don't want to go to school that long, And then growing up again, like I said, a nurse, and then I said I've watched too many nurses. I said no, I want more hands-on, and this is the way to do it.
Wow, that is really amazing. Oh my goodness. And I think and especially us who are in that helping field, when we feel that fulfillment within, and like just how you're talking about it, like your face is like bright, like it's lighting up.
I do. I honestly, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, oh no, it's not crazy. I love my job.
Right.
I love what I do.
Do you think, and as we start thinking about, and as we want to feed into others in the community, what would you suggest for someone who's not sure what it is they want to do yet, and how they can get, just having that intuition on what direction to go with their lives so they can live in their purpose and walk in their purpose, because you're walking in yours.
I'm walking in mine. Just do what your heart tells you to do. I think at the end, a prayer, and in your heart. I mean, I went to school, I became a medical assistant, I went to work with a one-on-one with a doctor. That was not me. I tried. So I'd say, if if it's for you or not, what you want to do,
Right.
And just follow your heart.
Yeah, I like that, being true to your heart and following your heart. And it's just amazing how God aligns things in our lives. And as I sit here and I think about when the Sanctuary of Hope opens, it's going to be a year soon in May. And this lady comes over and she's like, volunteering on our opening. And she was just so excited. And like, I was like, okay. And this lady just continued to grow into the calling God has her. And not many of you know, if you haven't come to our grief share, but it is still open for the next, we have about 7 more sessions. Judy actually is one of our grief share facilitators. She is one of our new facilitators. And again, when I think about the process, Sanctuary of Hope opened, she came over and volunteered. She wanted to be a part of it. She wasn't even sure what capacity she wanted to be a part of it. I'm sure she never thought she would be facilitating the grief share support group.
No, I didn't think that. I thought it was background work. I said background work.
Right. That's what she said, everyone, but not working. But look at the rich, now honestly, Judy, and honestly, look at the rich experience you bring with you.
Thank you. I love what I do.
It's amazing for us to be hosting the grief share and then having such a precious jewel who has walked along beside families in the capacity you have, which again, I've been in that situation, and just to have that compassion and that person there by your side as you walk through by the side of your loved one is just such an amazing feeling. And God has gifted you with that.
It is. I have so many stories, and it is truly, every day I'm happy when I go to work.
Wow, that is amazing.
I know, and I love what I do, and I love that even if it's just sitting there being quiet with somebody, even I've had people where they've allowed me to be their friend first. And then when it was time for changes, they'd look at me and say, Judy, it's okay now. I need you to take care of me. And I've done it with open arms and
amazing, amazing. Wow. Well, if you had to pick one, and I'm not, no pressure, one story to share where how it impacted you on a personal level.
there's one family
Mm-hmm.
that there was a lot of discord in this family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was a man I was taking care of, and he's like, Judy, how do I get my family back? You know, as he went and said everything that was going on, and I looked at him, I said, just tell them you're sorry. No arguing back and forth. No, it's your fault, it's my fault, but just say you're sorry. I was on a Friday. When I came back Monday, his children were all around him.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow.
They were all, and I had never met them in the year and a half that I spent with this gentleman until the very end there.
Look at that.
That's one story. Oh, another one again, and I kind of just went into it before. A beautiful woman from Brooklyn, New York. She would just, I'd go visit her, and she's like, "Oh, honey, I just want you to be my friend," you know. And she'd sometimes think I had all day, so I kind of would save her for the end of my day so I could spend a few hours there. You know?
Right, right.
And we became such good friends. And then when she became, I mean, she was ill, but when to the point where she knew she needed help, she allowed me to do that because she said, Judy, now I'm ready.
Oh, wow.
Can you come in and take care of me?
Look at that. Wow.
I've also, another story, I took care of someone's mother, and then that lady became my patient also.
Oh my God.
So, yes.
A lot of relationship building.
Yes. And I still, every so often, I go out to dinner with some of the women that I've met over the years, taking care of their grandmothers, taking care of their husbands.
What a beautiful ministry. What an absolutely beautiful ministry and a calling, honestly. And I'm just honored just to be surrounded by, that strength, because it does take a level of strength and grace in order to be able to walk along beside families again in that capacity as we look at it. So I thank you on behalf of the community and the Lehigh Valley for just being who you are, and most of all, your humbleness. You have a very humble heart, and I appreciate that and honor that as well, which is one of the reasons. Another thing I'm going to let everybody know, Judy, she, being a volunteer, she is actually going to be my major supporter here. She's going to be my senior support staff here at the Sanctuary of Hope. So I am so excited and looking forward to working with her. And we had a conversation this past week, and as we're talking through this, and I'm thinking about your gifting, and we started talking about the groups that we're going to be holding here at the Sanctuary of Hope. Healing just came to my mind. And I know we were talking about, what was it, the healing group, or was something?
There's a healing journey there's a healing journey.
Yeah.
That's an excellent course to take.
Yeah.
Excellent study.
Yeah, so we're going to talk more about that, but we do have some things that are to come, and I'm so excited that Judy, as well as Delia, who is here, I guess the last episode, we women are uniting in order to continue to make that positive impact on society, and be that strength and be that role model for our young women who are coming up behind us, and being able to just feed into their lives as they feed into others' lives.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which I'm excited about.
I am too.
I don't know if you have something else you wanted to share.
Oh, like I'm gonna say, forgiving what you can't forget. Is that one, or is that not one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the things as well, one of the groups. And what we're looking to feed into the community. Yes. That's the church as well as the community. looking at forgiveness. And Judy came with some amazing ideas, which is why I love having a team, because again, it's not all about me, although I am the director of the Sanctuary of Hope. The Sanctuary of Hope is the Sanctuary of Hope. The Sanctuary of Hope is not Sabrina Ware. And I'm glad that God is blessing me with the team. And Judy came with some amazing ideas with Healing Journey, Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And we're coming, we're going to have a single woman support group. So as we navigate things, and we're coming up on the month of May, which is Mental Health Mondays. We started that last week. During the month of April, we're going to be just navigating, getting prepared for the month of May. And I'm just ever so grateful that I was able to honor two of our women in the Valley this month of March. And I always like to have a scripture that I end us out with, and I'm going to use the same scriptures I used before. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I have nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away with. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. And that scripture right there, the love that we have allows us to convey compassion and love towards others. And that's what we're called to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So again, Judy, I thank you so much for being my guest. I thank you so much for partnering with the Sanctuary of Hope and agreeing to be my senior support staff. I'm so excited about the things that are to come.
Thank you, Sabrina. I mean, I'm telling you, I am so glad you're in my life.
Listen, and I am so glad you're in mine, and we will be coming back to our online audience, either doing live, Facebook Live, or we will be posting videos to continue to encourage. You may not always see me. I know I've been the face, but you're also going to start seeing Judy. We're going to work here. I just surprised you.
Yeah.
We're going to work together as a team. And as we continue to grow, which I do believe God is going to grow us, I do believe that we will be just continuing to feed into everyone's lives. So thank you again, Judy. Thank you, my online audience. Thank you for all the support. We look forward to continuing to bless you. And we thank you for being a blessing to us. God bless.
God bless.